Hello everyone, and welcome to the World War Photography channel. Today, we'll be discussing the Western Front, Part 2, and the Armistice. Don't forget to subscribe to support our work. It truly means a lot to us. London buses, repurposed for war, transport Australian troops of the 2nd Division in Renninghurst, France. These vehicles played a vital role in moving soldiers closer to the front lines. German soldiers in the rear signal their surrender to French troops, as observed from a listening post in a trench at Massiges, northeastern France. A moment captured amid the chaos of battle. A network of trenches amid the devastation of a French war zone during World War I, with nearby structures engulfed in flames, reflecting the destruction of the battlefield. A French soldier in a trench at Perthes-les-Hurlus, eastern France, takes aim with an anti-aircraft machine gun, ready to counter threats from above. The battles at Soissons, June 1918. A captive balloon and its truck-mounted motor winch, used for reconnaissance over the battlefield. A British soldier standing in a flooded dugout on the front lines in France, enduring the harsh conditions of trench warfare. French soldiers stand in the German trenches they seized after a heavy shelling on the Somme in northern France, 1916. Lens, France, showing the devastated coal mining region of northern France, where 220 coal pits were rendered useless during World War I. This aerial photo shows a section of an old reserve trench near the Somme River on the Western Front in France, offering a glimpse of the battlefield landscape. German stormtroops swiftly advanced to occupy a freshly made mine crater near Ripon in Champagne, highlighting the intense, ever-shifting front lines. Near Ripon in Champagne, German soldiers begin constructing defensive positions in a newly occupied mine crater, preparing for further combat in this volatile area. Battery C of the 6th Field Artillery Regiment, 1st Division, from the US, in action on the front at Beaumont, France, on September 12, 1918, firing at the enemy positions during intense combat. A US Army 37mm gun crew operates their weapon during the Meuse-Argonne offensive on September 26, 1918, in France. This was a critical phase of the World War I campaign. A wounded British prisoner is supported by 2 German soldiers in 1917, showcasing the harsh realities of war and the fleeting moments of compassion amidst conflict. German troops march across a field in 1918, advancing through the war-torn landscape, their movements reflecting the ongoing struggles of the final year of World War I. In the French town of Barastre, October 31, 1918, New Zealand engineers swiftly built a bridge over the River Selle in just 13 hours, all while under intense shell fire. The scene shows an ambulance and mounted troops crossing the newly constructed bridge amidst the chaos of war. A British soldier is seen cleaning his rifle on the Western Front. The growth of his beard suggests he has been entrenched for several days without a break, enduring the harsh conditions of continuous warfare. Royal Air Force planes are being loaded with munitions in France, preparing for their next mission. These aircraft played a crucial role in the aerial battles over the Western Front during World War I. A mother and her child, both wearing gas masks, in the French countryside during 1918. This image captures the civilian impact of chemical warfare, which was a terrifying aspect of World War I. The ruins of Renninghurst, Belgium, in 1916. This small town was heavily damaged during the brutal fighting of World War I, leaving behind a haunting landscape of shattered buildings and remnants of war. In 1917, the Canadian Army arrived in Mons, Belgium, just before the Battle of Vimy Ridge. The soldiers were warmly greeted by crowds who cheered them on, with Canadian pipers leading the way through the streets, creating a powerful and emotional scene. In June 1917, German shells exploded on Canadian positions at Lens, France. In the foreground, a Canadian gun pit is camouflaged to help protect it from the destructive enemy fire, showcasing the tactical efforts made to minimize casualties during intense bombardments. After the Battle of Amiens in September 1916, Royal Army Medical Corps men sifted through the belongings of the British dead in Somme, France. Their task was to collect letters and personal effects to be sent to the soldiers' families, offering a final connection to their fallen loved ones. A panoramic view of the nearly obliterated town, with a crude sign reading, "This was Forges," possibly Forges-sur-Meuse. The devastation is evident, highlighting the harsh realities of warfare that reduced once thriving communities to rubble. A shattered church in the ruins of Neuville serves as a makeshift shelter for American wounded, treated by the 110th Sanitary Train, 4th Ambulance Corps, in France on September 20, 1918. The scene reflects the harsh conditions faced by both the wounded and medical staff during the war. 2nd Division Pioneers clearing the road near the Cloth Hall in Ypres, October 1917. Their efforts were crucial in maintaining supply lines and ensuring the movement of troops through the war-torn landscape. A French officer stands near a cemetery, surrounded by fresh graves of soldiers who were killed on the front lines of World War I at Saint-Jean-sur-Tourbe on the Champagne front in eastern France. The somber scene reflects the heavy loss of life during the intense fighting in the region. In 1918, the Central Powers collapsed after the Allies' 100 Days Offensive. Strikes and desertions led to an armistice on November 11th. The Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, with leaders like French Premier Clemenceau, US President Wilson, and British Prime Minister Lloyd George at the Palace of Versailles. On Armistice Day, November 11, 1918, soldiers celebrate the end of World War I by waving their helmets and cheering in a field, though the exact location is unknown. On November 11, 1918, the announcement of the armistice sparked a massive celebration in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thousands gathered around a replica of the Statue of Liberty on Broad Street, cheering non-stop. Americans joining the celebration along the Grand Boulevard in Paris, France, on Armistice Day, November 11, 1918, marking the end of World War I. The announcement of the armistice on November 11, 1918, sparked a massive celebration in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thousands gathered around the replica of the Statue of Liberty on Broad Street, cheering non-stop. In the spring of 1919, the 1st Battalion of the 308th Infantry, known as the Lost Battalion, from the 77th Division's Argonne campaign, marched up New York's Fifth Avenue, passing the Arch of Victory. In 1919, a soldier kisses a woman during a joyful homecoming parade, celebrating the end of World War I. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.